Why is vertical line slope undefined? Imagine trying to walk straight up a wall without moving forward or sideways. It's impossible to measure how steep that wall is because you're not moving horizontally at all. That's similar to what happens when we look at a vertical line on a graph. The slope of a line tells us how steep it is, and we find it by dividing the change in the vertical direction, called the rise, by the change in the horizontal direction, called the run. When we pick two points on a line, we subtract their y values to get the rise and subtract their x values to get the run. Now here's the tricky part. On a vertical line, the x values for any 2 points are exactly the same because the line goes straight up and down. That means the change in x, or the run, is 0. When we try to calculate the slope, we take the change in y and divide it by the change in x, but since the change in is 0, we end up dividing by 0. In math, dividing by 0 is not allowed because it doesn't give a meaningful answer. It's called undefined because there is no number that can representing it. Think of it like trying to divide a number by 0. No matter what number you start with, the answer just doesn't exist. So, when you see a vertical line, you know it has no slope value that you can write down as a number. It's simply undefined. This is different from a horizontal line, where the change in y is 0, so the slope is 0. Horizontal lines are flat and have a slope of 0, but vertical lines go straight up and down, making their slope impossible to define with a number. Understanding why vertical lines have undefined slopes is important because it helps us see how different lines behave on a graph. It also explains why the usual way of writing a line's equation, which is called the slope-intercept form, doesn't work for vertical lines. Since the slope cannot be a number, the equation of a vertical line is written differently, usually as x equals a constant. To sum it up, the slope of a vertical line is undefined because the calculation involves dividing by 0, which is impossible in math. Vertical lines go straight up and down, with no horizontal movement, so their steepness can't be measured with a number. Knowing this helps us better understand how lines work and how to graph them correctly.